That's weird. All right, so we are recording. Welcome to our tribe training, everyone. We have an awesome speaker tonight, which I'm so excited about. I'm just super stoked that Andrea is here with us tonight. So I'm going to do a little intro, and then I'm just going to let her take it away because I know she has so much amazingness to share. So Andrea is an 11-star in her first business center and then a 9-star in her second, which is crazy amazing. She's also a 3-time elite coach, which is awesome. And she's also in the Millionaires Club. Whoop, whoop. So I'm going to just hand it over to her. Oh, wait, I wanted to say she's also an awesome mom, wife, badass boss babe, and just like I've gotten to know her and I feel like she's like the most rad chick ever. So I had to add that in there because I feel like I don't know. There's nothing that's not amazing about Andrea. So I'll let you take it away, girl.
Thank you so much. First I have to start off by apologizing for not showing up last week. I have never, ever, ever, ever missed a call before. And I just like somehow screwed up the times. I'm so used to 9 p.m. calls and like I wrote it down in my calendar as 9 p.m. and was just sitting there like minding my business with my kids having dinner, like completely missed it. And then I saw all Crystal's messages and I was like, oh my God. Like I truly believe the biggest thing that we hold dear is our time. And so the fact that I took your time and I gave you nothing in return, I feel so bad. So thank you guys for giving me a second chance. I promise I will not disappoint you guys. I will give you guys some of the things that have been just complete game changers for me in 2017. It's been kind of a weird year, but let me kind of start with where I was when I started my Beachbody business, which was back in like September of 2011. So I've been around since before challenge packs, which makes me feel so old. They were not even a thing yet. They had just launched right after I became a coach. And so the buzz and the excitement that we're feeling now with these new, interesting, bigger, cooler packs is kind of the same familiar buzz that I was feeling over 6 years ago when I started my business. My husband had actually just come home from a deployment and we had been separated for almost 18 months in total. And we had just moved into a new house in DC. We moved cross country. My house was still in boxes. We even had a hurricane blowing through and a earthquake. Like there was just like DC never got earthquakes. There was so much craziness going on in my life. And then we were also $100,000 in debt. So we're a military family, like hopping around all over the place, stupid amount of debt. Like it's just such a chaotic time and none of it made sense for me to sign up as a Beachbody coach. I was so broke. It was like barely being able to, and like I said, there were no challenge packs. So it was more expensive back then to buy, I think it was like $120 program plus $120 shake. So just for one fitness program and one bag of Shakeology, it was $240. How stupid is that? Like we've come so far. So I feel like whenever people are like, oh, that's too much money, I'm like, you just don't have the perspective. Hold on. Let me tell you how this shit started. It's such an incredible deal. Like Beachbody's just come such a long way. And it's just been incredible to see like the ebbs and flows and the amazing thing, like concepts that Beachbody has come up. They're just constantly changing the game in the fitness industry. So it's cool to be partnered up with them, right? But when my husband came home from work, I looked him in the eye and I was like, babe, I think I'm going to get a second job. And he's looking at me like, you have a full-time job. We have kids. Like, what are you talking about? So I explained to him, I was like, well, I saw this girl online and I promised her for like a month that I would watch this video. And my coach followed up with me at least 3 times. So if that doesn't say the fortunes in the follow-up, then I don't know what is, because she could have easily let it go. And had she, I would have let her. I wasn't planning on following up with her. So she reached back out to me 3 different times. So like with so much grace and like love, and like, she wasn't trying to pressure me. She was just doing what she said she was, which was like, hey, I'll follow up within a couple weeks then. So she did. And I remember saying to myself, I'm going to watch this video because I told this girl I would, and because I believe in honoring other people's time. And I already asked her to follow up with me a couple times. So I'm just going to go watch this video and then I'm going to go back and I'm going to tell her no, thank you. And by the time I got to the end of the video, all of a sudden it went from a no, thank you to a, huh. So I watched Christine Dwyer's video, and she talked about how she had made enough money to retire her husband from a C-level position at a corporation. And I was like, wow, those positions normally make a pretty decent amount of money. So that sounds like there's some legitimate income opportunity, but all I know is that I tried Insanity when my husband was deployed and I got super hot. Like my body was the most banging it had ever been in my whole life after 2 kids. And I was like, man, like, okay, at least I know this shit works. So I had already experience with the products, and I knew that Insanity was going to get results. So like Beachbody already had a good reputation as far as I was concerned. But the interesting thing is that you guys can kind of take note on is that I actually already had a randomly assigned coach. She emailed me as soon as I signed up for my little free Beachbody account, because the video said, hey, go get free recipes by signing up for a free account. So I did that. And she sent me an email. She said, welcome. Thank you so much for being a part of Beachbody. Hey, P.S., you should become a coach. And because I didn't know anything about Beachbody, I made a quick assumption that she was just automatically assuming that I was a personal trainer. And I was like, I'm not a personal trainer. Delete. So I deleted her email. I did do one thing before I deleted that email. One of the first things she told me to do was add me on Facebook. So I was like, okay, I'll go add this girl on Facebook. I added her on Facebook, and then I deleted the email, and I was like, I'm not a personal trainer, what else? So another person had seen me. I saw an ad for Insanity in my sidebar. So I looked at the Facebook ad, and I never, ever, ever, ever clicked on Facebook ads, ever. But I saw that one ad, and I was like, oh, Insanity, that's the program that I just bought off Amazon. And I know I got a burnt copy because there were so many typos in it and 2 of the same videos, but I did it anyway and still got awesome results. And so I went and clicked on the page, and they had asked a question about one of the workouts. I can't remember which one. And I saw a bunch of comments going on. I was like, oh, I just did that workout. So I commented my little input. I never went back to the page. One comment, my coach, Joelle Cease, then Joelle Matson, saw my post or saw my comment and sent me a private message. Hey, I saw you're doing Insanity. I know some people are saying this is like a rough version of what I remember from 6 years ago, but she's like, I know some people have had this experience. Was that also your experience? So she was just being my friend. She actually didn't invite me to become a coach. I was the one who reached out to her because I was watching all of her Facebook posts. So lesson to me right away, once I became a coach, was attraction marketing. That's what got me in. So she was always posting about every single Thursday. She would talk about her Beachbody payday, what she was doing with her money. And that was what made me reach out. I messaged her and I was like, how do you get paid doing that Beachbody thing? Every Thursday you're talking about your paycheck. So that's when she sent me the video and had to follow up with me 3 different times to get me to actually watch it. Thank God I did, because it totally changed her life. But the other girl, I did see, I saw her go to the first summit. I think there was 200 people or something like that at that summit in LA. And then I ended up signing up with this other girl. And at the time, that made there was no connection. I didn't feel bad about it because I was like, I don't understand that, I was already connected to her in the system and she earned me as a lead. So when people take it personally of oh, this person went and signed up with that other person, I firmly believe that what is for you will not pass you. I was not meant to sign up with that girl. That is how I've led my business. What is for me will not pass me. So if someone talks to me, but they sign up with someone else, I genuinely pray they succeed. I hope the best for them. I don't take it personally because the right people are always going to show up for me as soon as I'm ready to receive them. That's the little catch though, is when I'm ready to show up for my business, people show up for me. But if I'm constantly sitting there saying, oh, of course, another person went to another coach, it's this energetic force field that's saying our firm belief is that everyone goes to everyone else. So of course that's reflected in what our actual reality is. So I ended up signing up with Joelle. She's become my best friend. Both of us have built $1 million businesses together over the last, she's been a coach for 7 years and I've been a coach for 6. She was a coach for over a year, and then I was her first coach to go diamond. And then I stayed diamond for another 18 months. So when people think, like, you see people standing on stage, you know, being recognized, being in the million club or whatever rank, it's so easy to like paint stories on them to make them feel like separated and different from us, to make us feel better, that if our journey looks different, if our journey feels harder or seems like it takes longer, then there's something more special about them than there is us. But most of the time it's just bullshit. Like, it took me 18 months to get past diamond. And even at around the it was around the 18-month mark, I had like a $70 paycheck. And I'm like, I seriously thought I was going to be making at least $1,000 a week by now, because Mindy Wender was a few coaches. She's like my great grandma coach. So I thought I would just like follow in her footsteps, and after a year I'd quit my job and I'd be making $1,000 a week, and it was going to be like so perfect and so beautiful and rainbows and butterflies and bunny rabbits. And that was total bullshit. That was not the truth for me. So if I can tell you guys anything, it is like patience is like the mother of all skills, because if you guys give up, you're guaranteed to not have whatever it is that you desire. Everything else in between is just this like figuring out process. And most of the time it's teeny little tweaks. And if you guys are willing to just get crazy curious and to have fun in the process, number one, fun is the secret to getting there faster. Those two F words, fun equals faster. So the more fun that you guys are having in your business, those are going to be like, that's like the little secret sauce that most people are like, what are the secrets of the people who are just slaying it in business? It's not that there's like hidden tactical strategy that nobody's sharing with you, because I swear to you guys on like my freaking grandpa's grave that if you go onto youtube.com/misfitrepublic, every single thing that's ever worked for me in my business is public on YouTube for anybody to watch those videos and consume. So there's no hidden secrets, and I keep them all there for my team just to make it easy to access for them. So it's like stupid of me to not give my team all my secrets, because they are a huge chunk of my paycheck, right? So, and if you guys, any of the other leaders in Beachbody, nobody's keeping secrets from you. The only secret is like the patience and the fun factor. When you guys get so stressed out, think of it. If you guys go into a store and you see someone like a clerk that's like happy to be there, and they're not caring if they're going to make a sale or a commission from you. They just love their job. And then someone else on the left side of the store, and they're just like a little nervous, and they're like, oh my God, I've got to pay my bills. And you can see that like energy written all over their face. You don't want to go up to the person who's like super anxious, because it's going to detract from your enjoyable shopping experience, right? You're going to go to the other person who's just like happy to be there for their job. So I realized through that like struggle bus phase of the beginning of my business that I had grown up kind of with the idea that I could achieve anything that I ever wanted as long as I worked hard. What I learned through the last 6 years is hard work is actually not the secret to success. And that's like contrary to what pretty much everyone believes, right? We just think just work hard, just hustle, just grind it out. And no matter what, if you just push and force your way through the pain, that everything will work out. Well, yes, you can get there that way. That's just not very much fun. And it takes you longer. Remember, 2 favorite F words, fun equals faster. So instead of forcing your way, one of my not favorite words, then focus on whatever brings you joy. And I'll kind of go into like how you can approach your business that way specifically. So whenever people are saying like, this is the only way to succeed, do this. Like, I'm one of those believers, like my other favorite F word is fuck the rules. Like, anybody who tells you the only way to make it work is this way is just narrow-minded. And maybe that's been their experience. But if you took 100 top Beachbody coaches who are all making 6 and above figures in their business, and you interviewed each one of them and said, what has been your specific strategy? I would bet you would get slight variations from everyone. It's not going to be the same exact process. So the important thing to remember is that none of them gave up and they found their way. Now, what I know about human nature is that we own the ideas that we create. Think of a little kid, right? If you're having trouble getting a kid to eat their vegetables, what's the first thing that you want to do? You want to have them help make the food. because something about that human ego says, if I make this, it's awesome because I'm awesome, because I'm my favorite person, I'm my favorite subject, I'm my favorite topic. That's just kind of how we were built, like that ego driven. So once you learn that about yourself, you realize like, if I just take this and put my own spin on it, then I now own it. And if I create it, of course I'm invested in making it succeed, because my ego says that I don't want to be the one that was wrong. It's easier when you look at other people's tactics and strategies, and if it doesn't work, you can just blame the person and say, your strategy didn't work. But if you help create the recipe, you are more invested in seeing it succeed. Now, that doesn't mean like if something is just not working that you just keep trying to force and push. So I'll talk to you about like the specific process that you guys want to go through. But I want you to release the idea that building a business has to be hard. It's total bullshit. Making tons of money doesn't have to be hard, because there are plenty of people sitting on their ass making a ton of money and they're not spending a lot of time. I work my business in ebbs and flows. Some weeks, like I want to work a 14-hour day. And when I'm in it, I'm in the zone. I have tunnel vision. All I can do is focus on what I'm doing, and I love it. And I'm obsessed with it. And like, it's almost like I can't eat, sleep, or breathe. Like I forget to eat food because I'm so in love, but it doesn't feel hard. So sometimes if I'm in those like tunnel vision zones, I used to think like, well, if I spend that much time on my business, then there's like a problem. But then there's the other flows where like this week, to be honest with you, I've probably put like less than 2 hours a day into my business. And I work this business full time. Like it's my full-time job. So I go through ebbs and flows based off of like how I'm feeling, what I'm inspired by. And if I'm feeling a little stuck, I go back into like deep self-care and I re-inspire myself, because I'm telling you guys right now, motivation is so fleeting. So if you want to feel motivated or inspired, you better bring your own match to the party, because nobody else is going to sit under your ass and light that fire. You have to be willing to do it for yourself. Don't depend on Crystal to do it. Don't depend on me to do it. Don't depend on the wake-up call every single Monday to do it. Yeah, because then you get on the wake-up call and you're like, oh, that idea is so good. And you're so excited. And then what? Do you implement every single week? Wah, wah, probably not, right? That's because for the rest of the week, you don't know why you're here. You don't know what you're doing this for. So let me tell you guys about my little secret recipe called, it used to be the 3 Ps, but I added a 4th one because it's going to be extra super good for you guys. Okay, so the 4 Ps. First one, passion. Passion is so crucial. When you ask the one common thing among all the people who are sitting there at the top, you know what they'll say? I'm just obsessed with it. I'm so obsessed with it. If you guys don't feel obsessed with your business to where you want to work it, if you guys feel like Crystal has to show up and be like, hey, did you do your power hour today? You're in the wrong place, or you haven't found why you're doing this. You don't know why you're passionate about it, and you haven't pulled things that you love and wrapped them all up into your business. Because this is your business, you have the power to create this perfect little passion-based recipe, right? So first question is, what are the things that you love? What are the things that you're already obsessed with? What could you talk about all day long till you're blue in the face? You could fall asleep talking about it. You love it so much. So I started thinking like, well, what is that for me? And this has changed for me so much over 6 years, because I am an organic being that is ever growing and evolving. So this doesn't have to stay the same. Remember, there are no rules. Anybody that tells you that there's a rule is either just doesn't know what they're talking about, and just God bless them, and I'm sure they're trying to help you, or they're a liar. Like, it just doesn't have to be rules. So you can change this at any time. You have the right to change your mind tomorrow if you wanted to. The one thing you always do want to go back to, though, is, okay, what is my passion for me today? And that, if you want to change it daily, weekly, monthly, annually, just doesn't matter. The most important thing is figuring out what you're obsessed with so you can pull it into your business. Why is this important? Number one, it makes you want to keep showing up for your business, right? You're bringing the own match to your party, right? Because you're already obsessed with it. You're in love with it. I love talking about all things like spiritually related. I'm obsessed with like talking about crystals. I'm obsessed with my kids. I think they're the freaking raddest little humans on the whole planet. I'm so thankful that I was chosen to be a mom to those two humans. So I talk about like my spirituality. I talk about my relationship with my kids. Want to know the number one conversation starter that people reach out to me for? P.S. I'm an introvert. So I will go any length that is required to make someone reach out to me. That is like how I've built my whole business. I can count on probably both hands and both feet how many no, I'd say in the beginning of my business, I did send like a legitimate amount of personal invites, but I did that for the first like 4 months until I really started building up attraction marketing. But I'll do whatever it takes to create curiosity to get people to reach out to me. The number one question that I get is, how do I learn more about those crystal things? And how is it that you have such a great relationship with your kids? Can you tell me do you have any books that you want to reference? So these people are reaching out to me and they're starting the conversation based off of what connects us, which is our passion. That's why your passion is so important. That's why it's important to put who you are out there, because people don't buy Beachbody. People don't buy Shakeology. They don't buy 21 Day Fix. They don't buy Beachbody On Demand. They buy you. And they buy you because people do business with people they know, like, and trust. And if you have things in common, they like and trust you faster. Why? Because people's favorite topic is themselves. And when they think that you have interesting stuff that they share in common, they're like, oh, she likes that stuff, so she must be as awesome as I am because I like that stuff too, right? We're our favorite own topic, right? So finding those different things that you guys can like talk about your pet. I don't care what it is. It could be like worms and fly fishing. It just does not matter, because if you're obsessed with it to the point where you would talk about it all the time, you will find other people who are equally obsessed. I remember in the beginning, Angie Belmar was talking about how like she was so afraid to put out there that she was like an adult Disney freak because she thought people would judge her. And then it became the biggest part of her brand that created like, I wish so badly that I loved Disney at the level that she does, because I'm like, those people are like coming out in droves. I remember thinking like in the beginning of my business, like that's the secret, is I just have to love the same things that they do because that works for them. Then I realized, no, it only works for them because they truly love it. I can't fake loving Disney because I would like throw up in the back of my throat. I live 3 hours away and I have yet to go. So like that just, I mean, I'll probably go eventually for my kids, but I don't give two shits, right? Like I would rather sit on the beach and like soak in the vitamin D. That's my jam. So, but it just doesn't matter what it is. Like you guys can be obsessed with anything, but the whole point is to create that connection. Why? Because you want people to know, like, and trust you faster. And also, don't you want more people reaching out to you? And so here's the thing. Here's one thing that I don't do is I'll talk about the things that I love, but I may not just like give all the information. Shalene talked about this at Summit. So if you guys haven't watched the recording from her Summit presentation about curiosity marketing, it's like how, as I'm like watching this, I'm like, whoa, this is like the exact strategy of exactly what I've been doing for the last like 5.5 years. So, but she just found a way to like make it simple and teachable because Shalene's a master at that. And I was like, okay, this makes sense. So now I'm just like, it's an easier way to get my team to understand why this has worked so well for me. So those connection things. So I'll talk about like, you know, my crystal necklaces, and I'll show people and talk to them about like pendulums and stuff, because that's super interesting and gets lots of people asking questions. And then people will reach out to me and be like, well, what's that? Where can I learn more? What's your favorite book on this? Like, where do I go buy these? And so many conversations have gotten started because I'm obsessed with it, right? The same way Angie's obsessed with Disney, I'm obsessed with crystals, and it gets people reaching out to me, and now we have something in common, and now we could talk about it all day long together, and none of us want to stop, and now we're best friends. And that's how I built my whole team of best friends, because we all love the same shit, right? Now we want to travel together. And that's like the family atmosphere. When people see you, they're like, I want a piece of that, because you guys have this like tight-knit culture of just like this like love and appreciation. You do anything for each other. People want to be a part of something bigger than themselves. So when you're just like fiercely like unafraid to let your freak flag fly, however that looks for you, like you guys will create the best community, and other people who have like similar obsessions, they're going to reach out to you. Okay. So first P is passion. What are you passionate about? What are you obsessed with? What do you just want to talk about all day long? Make yourself a list. Angie Belmar always teaches like the concept of find your five. I say it just doesn't matter, but the things that you talk about most, I used to talk about office supplies all the time. And now like, I really just don't, like I have other things more like currently on, top of mind. So those are the things that are being like I said, this could change every week, every month, it doesn't matter. But you want to be able to talk about it consistently enough to where people start recognizing you for it and they realize like, oh, I'm going to go talk to that person because I feel like I connect with them. Okay. Purpose is your second P. Why are you here? Like beyond like putting money in your own pocket, which is a noble cause. We all need money. It's just a tool. It's just a resource for us to be able to all do the things that are important to us, whether that's like charity or pay our bills or go on like vacations and see the whole world or whatever it is that's important to you. Money's just a tool to do that. But if you guys show up and if you guys pair fun so that you can build your business faster, you guys will start making more money than you ever dreamed possible. Like I came from a background where I had a teenage pregnancy. I don't have a college degree. I have a million reasons statistically why I should be broke on welfare and divorced. A million reasons. All statistics say that's where I should be right now. The only reason that I'm not is because I made different decisions. So to see the money that comes into my bank account on a weekly basis is so unfamiliar to me in how I grew up. So I have to ask myself, once I get to the point, like, why do I still want to show up and work this business? Why am I sitting here with you guys today when you guys don't financially benefit me in any way, shape, or form? What is my deeper purpose? What is it that I feel like I want to like leave with this world when someday, I'm probably going to die when I'm 93, probably parachuting or something like that. Something super rad. But I want to know that whatever I did, it had meaning, it had purpose, aside from like taking care of the things that I personally desire. What is it that I can do to give back that I can do for other people? Human nature is that we have this desire to be significant. We want to know that like we made a difference or that we mattered in some way, shape, or form. Brendan Burchard at Summit was talking about, did I love? What was the third? Did I love? Did I matter? Shit, I forgot the second one. But anyways, did I matter? Like that's something that I think is deeply ingrained in all of us at like a human DNA level, right? So what is it for you? For me, I have to ask myself like, how do I want to make a difference in people's life based off of what's important to me? Number one, I want to normalize wealth for women. I don't want wealth to be a dirty word in anyone's mouth. I want people to be able to see money just simply as a tool. It's just a piece of paper. It only has the meaning that we assign to it. But so many people assign like self-worth and like you're either good or you're evil based off of like all these different stories that we have in our head. And most women, especially, in the last couple decades, we're either the first, second, or third generation income earner as a female, right? Think about it. Like on my mom's side, I'm a second generation income earner. And then on my dad's side, I'm a third generation income earner. Previous to that, stay-at-home wives, right? So, and that's pretty common. So when it comes to like women in the money topic, a lot of times it's like, oh, either I don't want to out-earn my husband, or I don't want to out-earn my father, because what would that mean? How would that demasculate them? How would that make them feel? And then you have to ask yourself, does that really matter? And then also like a lot of times money's like hush, hush around the women of like, oh, shh, you don't have to worry about that. Daddy's got it taken care of, right? Like you don't need to worry about it. Nah, that's not how I want to roll. Like that's not the message that I want to leave. I want to empower women because I truly believe with my whole being, every cell in my body, that financially empowered women will change the world in the most positive. Like I have full body chills because I know at a deep cellular purpose, that is my mission in my life. That is a huge reason why I'm here on this earth. I'm not just here to pay my bills. I'm not just here to wake up every day and like a Groundhog's Day. I'm here to actually, my dad used to always say, like I always joke around that I was a Boy Scout because I went everywhere with the Boy Scouts, even though me and my sister were the only girls, because we had to go with my dad. My dad didn't have anybody else to watch him. So we went on all the campouts and did all like the fishing trips with all the Boy Scouts. And my dad used to always say, Remember, guys, leave your campsite cleaner than you found it. And for my whole life, I'll never forgive that because I look at this earth as my campsite. I want to leave it cleaner, AKA better, AKA more improved, AKA happier than I found it when I got here. So I'm on this mission to use Beachbody as like the coolest vehicle, because it's a business in a box that's already done. There's no product development that we have to do. We don't have, I mean, there's so much little nitty gritty details that go into starting a business from scratch that we just don't even have to worry about as Beachbody coaches. All we have to worry about is showing up and finding a way to communicate our message to get it into the hands of other people. So it's so much easier to build a business this way and to create financial wealth that I'm able to help people do like I did and pay off $100,000 worth of debt. I'm able to help women feel financially empowered. I know so many women that are sitting there stuck in marriages that they are miserable in, that they are afraid to be in because they don't have money to leave. And so I choose to show up and make that a bigger part of my purpose. So when I wake up in the morning, it's not an option to not show up, because if I don't show up, I don't help and serve those people. So that's another bigger reason why if people tell me no, I'm like, no big deal. Like, come back to me when you're ready. It's because it's not about me. It's about them. If you guys approach your business with like that deeper, bigger purpose of like, why are you here? Are you here to help, stay-at-home moms be able to feel like they're income earners and they can contribute to the family, to give them something creative to be able to invest themselves into, for them to have an opportunity to have like grown-up to grown-up conversations instead of talking to a 2-year-old all the time and feeling like your brain is starting to melt because you can't use big words. And you probably forgot most of them. Or what is it for you to be able to give a nurse an opportunity to really make a difference on the prevention side? Like, nurses desperately want to help people. That's why they went to school for that, right? Through so many hours of hard, grueling school, because they want to help people. Well, what's the best way to help people is to prevent them from having issues in the first place, right? And to give them real solutions. We have that real solution. So I'm not asking you to take on my mission with me. I'm asking you to decide, what's your mission? What's your purpose? Why are you here? What is bigger than you? And I'm not saying disregard your own personal needs, because like I said, we all have bills to pay, but the bills will get paid when you feel so deeply connected to that purpose. And then again, you'll attract more people who have like attracts like. You'll attract more people who want that, right? Okay. Third P is probably they're all my favorite, but this one happens to be like the game changer, which is play. So fun, play, same thing, right? Passion, purpose, play. How can you have more fun in your business? How can you feel more playful? I would challenge you guys to test me on this and try to prove me wrong. Let's say you have 3 hours to work your business, or 2 hours. If you show up and you try to work your business when you're in a funk, when you're like having these mindset blocks, when your ego's trying to tell you you're not worthy, you're not good enough, you suck, you're probably going to get 700 more no's today and nobody's going to say yes because you're just not good at this, and there's people that are more special, more better than you, and you should just give up and you should just not even try anymore. If you start your business working that way, you can work those 3 hours, but I'm telling you that you will not get the same results when you show up the way I show up. When I show up and I'm in a place of feeling my passion, feeling my purpose, and I'm feeling playful, and no, it doesn't bother me. And it also doesn't derail me, because I'm like, oh, no problem. It's just not the right time for her, because I'm in a good mood. I'm feeling good about myself. I'm feeling good about the way that I'm going to help people. And I want to help people who are ready to be helped. So a no isn't going to derail me. It's just going to cause me to go reach out to another person. If you guys get a no when you're in that like state of like fear or frustration or funk or whatever it is, you guys are most likely to be like, oh, I don't want to get rejected again. So you don't send that next invite, right? You tell your coach, I sent out my invites, but you invited the same person that's already told you no 4 times. So you're just continuing to prove to yourself that like you're going to keep getting rejected. Well, it's because you're just asking the same people that already told you no, right? And you're also not showing the passion and the purpose through your social media. It's critical that you communicate that message of why you're here and then what you're obsessed with through your social media. So you bring those people to you. When I have a one-on-one conversation with someone, it takes me way less time to convert them to a yes because they already know me so well. I hold pretty much nothing back unless it's like personal shit. I don't share everything on social media. Like you'll never see me show up on social media and be like, my husband and I had a fight. Hell no. Like keep that shit to yourself. But I'm going to show up and be like, oh my God, you guys today, like the mom struggle is real. Like my son woke me up again saying he missed the bus. Can he get his life together? And like, but then I'm going to spin it into a positive and be like, but I'm just so thankful that like I wasn't at an office that I then had to leave and come home to be able to get him to school, right? Like I'll spin it into a positive. I share real life and I'll share the struggles, and I'll even share the struggles of building a business because I think that that's important too. But I'm not going to show like the stuff that just nobody really needs to know. And I always need to be the hero of my own story because otherwise you're just another whiner on Facebook and there's already way too many, right? Okay. So how can you be more playful? The other thing is that when people see you having fun and being playful, people are like, that train looks like a party train. I want to jump on that one. But if you're on the stressed success train, people are like, that doesn't look like very much fun. I'm going to say no to that, right? So like the vibe that you're putting off is either attracting people like honey and bees, or it's putting up a force shield from people and saying like, oh, run, fire. I don't want to get on that train. It doesn't look like very much fun. So you have to ask yourself, if someone could follow me around for a day, would they want to be a part of this? If I look like I'm just miserable, I'm not having fun, I'm just showing up because I have to do my power hour. My husband always says, like, there's only two things I have to do, babe. Be white and die. You're not going to change my skin color, and I'm definitely going to die someday. Everything else in between is, like, optional. And that's usually right when I'm saying, like, babe, you have to take out the trash. Like, no. Right? Like, you don't have to be here working this business. If you hate it, like Crystal's, I hope she doesn't hate me for saying this, but if you hate this, like, quit. Why are you here? Go do something you love. Like life is too short. And I tell my team the same thing. Like luckily nobody ever quits because I teach them how to do this in a way that feels fun because you're wrapping up your passions. I always say Beachbody is like one of those like the best way to like melt anything that you're obsessed with. You can build it into your business plan so it feels exciting, but you have to do that with intention, right? It takes that intention of figuring out like what you want to talk about and how you want to be like create those connections points with people and how can you be more playful. So sometimes if I'm in a funk, and I have funks, yesterday I was in a funk, I had a day and it just happens, right? So I decided to use a bunch of my time to be more playful. In fact, it was been a few days. I swear like the full moon or Mercury or something is like effing with me. So I've been more like going on walks and getting sunshine and getting fresh air and doing things that feel good to me. Sometimes I have crazy dance parties in my house. Now, if I have like something like time sensitive and I only have 60 minutes, I know my own routines and rituals that will like, my team laughs at me because I always say like, I have to get myself into the mood. When you've been married for 14 years, you know what that means. Like sometimes you have to put yourself in the mood, right? But once you do, you're glad you're there, aren't you? So I have to ask myself, like, what are the things that will get me in the mood to work my business? So sometimes I put on my little headphones and I have like a crazy dance party, like Carrie from Sex and the City, right? Like all by myself in my house. Sometimes I'll sing at the top of my lungs. You guys never want to hear that. It's so freaking terrible for anybody who's physically present in the room. But I have a little trampoline that sits in my living room. I'm sure my neighbors think I'm batshit crazy because I'm the girl with like crystals and sage all over her house and a trampoline in her living room. But my kids love it and all the neighborhood kids do. But I jump on it to get blood circulating and to get my energy up. So if I have 3 minutes, I'm going to use those 3 minutes wisely to put myself into a better state of mind and better physical, mental, emotional, spiritual energy before I start reaching out to people, because energy is contagious and I do not want to slime my bad energy on everyone, but I can change it quickly if I need to. So if you guys are short on time and you think this process has to take long, it really, really does not. You just have to figure out what that process is for you. So come up with a little ritual. If you guys are not already feeling playful or excited or passionate or obsessed with your business, in that moment, come up with a ritual that you guys can get yourself into the mood to be able to work your business, whatever that takes for you. Okay. And then the fourth P is plan. Now I use this word loosely only because it's kind of important that if you have a specific goal that you know how to get there. Let's say your goal's diamond. I know a lot of people are shooting for diamond at the end of the year. You guys want to start off the new year with like, you know, an awesome business, feeling like a leader. And that's so exciting. But there's so many people out there, even on my team, that are like, yeah, Andrea, I'm going to go for diamond. I'm so excited. And then I get someone sending me a private message. Psst, what's diamond? How do I get there? Like, they just don't even know. I'm like, okay, we need a plan. I know we have like passion, purpose, and play, and those are all fun and exciting. Those are the fun pieces, but then you do have to have some type of tactical strategy. How are you going to add new people to your network? How are you going to take the 4 vital behaviors? The 4 vital behaviors are important to growing your business, but how you do each of them is up to you. That's where you put your own recipe into it that you feel like your own, that you're going to feel like you want to execute. And remember, when you guys show up for your business, your energy matters, because what you're doing is either pushing people away and causing them to say, run, fire, get away. That doesn't sound like fun. Or it's like bees and honey. They're like attracted to you and they just can't get enough, because like your energy is one of those people that are like, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know if you're like smoking crack or something, but can I have some of that? Like people are like, whatever she's on, put me down for that, right? That's the energy that you guys want to be putting out to the universe. Crystal's like a freaking like genius at that. She's so good at that. Just watch her IG stories. And IG stories have like been the game changer for me and my business and bringing a lot of people to me. So, okay, I think I actually covered everything. Do we have any questions? Did I like do too much?
No, I couldn't find my unmute button. I was like, wait. That was amazing. I was like so like lost in your training. Like I just realized I hardly chatted in the chat because I was just like so focused. I was like, if anyone has any questions, feel free to unmute yourself and you can ask them, or you can post them in the chat if you want to. I love just like the simplicity of the 4 Ps though, because I feel like they're easy to remember. And that's just something I almost feel like I could put the words up like where I work my business.
Mm-hmm. And you guys can infuse whatever the meaning to those with like whatever's important to you. And when you take ownership over just those 4 elements, everything else feels easy. It doesn't feel hard. It feels playful. Even if you're working, like if you put 5 hours into your business, like I said, you go into this tunnel vision of like excitement, and it's like my kids could fall over and hurt themselves sometimes and I don't even hear them. I'm like, I should probably get a babysitter for my 12 and 14-year-old sometimes.
Yeah, I definitely think bringing in like your own recipe and your own vibe and just that playfulness into your business totally changes it. Because I've been there where like building my business felt like pulling teeth, but that's because I never brought me into it. It was just like a to-do list to check off, you know? And now that my business is just all me, it's so much more fun.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And probably easier, right?
Oh yeah, totally. Like I sometimes I look at the clock and I'm like, how is it already like 2 p.m.? Like, and I've just been in my business, like in the zone, just doing fun stuff, connecting with people. And the thing you said about how like when people reach out to you and they already know you because you're so you on your social, like that's like where you want to be with your business. Cause that's, I remember feeling that transition with my business where like I just started being way more authentic. And it's like the no's, they're just so far and few now, because when people reach out to me, it's like they already know, like, and trust me, and they just want, they're like obsessed with me and they just want more of me.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. People aren't signing up for even sometimes the transformation. Sometimes people sign up just because they want to be around you more, which is like such a compliment, right?
Yeah. And it's awesome because then they're just like you too. They're exactly like you.
Right. And then it's just fun for everyone.
Yeah.
That's why I always say, like, me and Crystal were meant to be best friends. I bet we could talk about all the same thing for hours and not even breathe.
I know. It would be ridiculous if we lived near each other.
It would be. We'd never get work done.
Ladies, do you have any questions?
Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
Yeah, it was really good. I have a question.
Yeah.
So do you find that now that Instagram is so, I guess, big, and maybe in 2011, I mean, I don't even know if I had it in 2011. Do you find that you get more people reaching out to you on Instagram or on Facebook?
if you asked me today, I would say Instagram, but that only changed within the last 6 months. I was like so late to the IG party, which I'm like bummed about, but that's because Facebook was working for me for so long. These days, Facebook feels like stressed success. It doesn't feel fun to me. And I always say, go where the fun is. So just because someone's like crushing it on Facebook or on Facebook ads, if you're over there and I'm like, oh, this just doesn't feel like my playground. If it doesn't feel like actual play to you, go to a different playground, right? So it doesn't matter what social platform works for me. It matters the social platform that you'll have the most fun on. That's where you'll get the magic.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I think Instagram is more fun for me than Facebook, but Crystal knows this. When I first reached out to her and was talking to her, I didn't even have a Facebook. The only reason that I started Facebook was because she said that this was before we had the app to do the challenge group. And she's like,
right.
Well, you got to be in our challenge group to do this. And I was so hesitant to start Facebook, just because of, I don't know, all the other issues and potential drama that it could cause. I mean, I haven't had any of that, thank God. But what do you think has been, since you've just came on to Instagram, you said within the last 6 months, how do you think you've been able to create such a huge following on a platform that maybe you weren't using before?
So I've been using, I'll use like air quotes for that one, Instagram since I started my business. But when I started, I had one Instagram follower, and that was my sister. So like doesn't really count. So I was continuously like posting on there, but I would write my content for Facebook, and then I would place it on other social media platforms. Like I would take a good Facebook post and turn it into a blog post, and I'd also put on Instagram, and I would put it on both I would never change anything because I'm just way too lazy, and I'm all about like keeping things as easy as humanly possible. So I don't rewrite stuff differently for different platforms. I write it for the platform that I'm having the most fun on, and then I distribute to the others. So I was always showing up on Instagram, but I do believe where your focus goes, energy flows. And so I would get maybe like one new customer a month or every other month, like super inconsistently and periodically, just from like having content on there and like using hashtags. And I have never done anything like, I know a lot of people were using Instagram for a long time. I apparently missed that train too. I miss a lot of trains, guys. You can miss so many trains and still make it to the success one, so don't even worry. But I never used Instagram. I do use, the name is escaping me now. I just started using it like a month ago, and I can't even tell you guys that I love it. I'm getting a lot of like rap people following me, and I'm like, I think I might cancel. I'm not even going to go dig up the name for it because I just don't think it's actually getting me like qualified. And I think I've maybe got like 500 followers from using it. So I'm like, if they're not qualified followers, it doesn't matter. You guys could have 500 Instagram followers, and it's more about the quality of the engagement than it is anything else. Because I know people who have like a quarter of the amount of followers and get twice the amount of engagement that I do. I get my best engagement from Instagram stories. And so that's where I spend my most time. Like I'll send other people IG stories and I'll comment on theirs, and I'll go back and forth more than I'll comment on people's posts. But yeah, I would say over 6 years, having 10,000 followers isn't actually I don't even have 10 yet. I'm so close, but it's not that impressive. Crystal's already like way beyond me. She's more of an expert in that area than I am.
Yeah, I mean, Instagram's just fun. And like you said, go where you have fun. That was where I always had fun. I always hated Facebook.
Yeah. I used to love Facebook though. So that was like my playground, and I got all my results from there. And once it stopped being fun, I went to Instagram and I made that one my playground.
Yeah.
I know people who crush it on Pinterest. Like you just never know wherever you're having fun.
Yeah. Oh, I feel like I was going to say two things. I was going to comment on like, the quality of followers is so true. I know this is an Instagram topic, but something you could talk all day about. Yeah, like it actually hurts you. Like if you have followers that don't engage with you. So it's like, it hurts your engagement if you have more, but they don't actually care about what you're saying. You know what I mean? Because they're not interacting with you. So the algorithm is just based off if they're interacting with you or not. That's a side note. But, you said like you've built your whole business basically off attraction marketing. And so now since the game's all about like Instagram stories, do you have like a goal of how much you want to be in people's faces every day on social, or is it just you just know you have to show up?
I love to improve. So like when I first started using IG story, I remember I was on Snapchat and I felt so conflicted. Like, okay, I've already got like 400 views on Snapchat and I didn't want to lose those followers. But the thing is like, you can't click to see who your followers are. And I just had this aching feeling that 99% of them were other Beachbody coaches. And I was like, well, I was getting zero sales from it. I was having fun there, which was important to me. But what I realized is if I just take that fun and like that passion and just go over and just be playful with no intention of results at first, just to be playful to find out if I was going to be obsessed with it, then I would just like one day I just walked away from Snapchat, never posted again. In fact, my daughter like commandeered my Snapchat account and I think my followers loved her more than me. Like she's way more interesting. So I went to IG story and my first, I think I got like 120 views. And then I did a live video and I think I had 3 people watching and I'm like, shoot, is this going to be like really what's for me? I had 400 and now I have a little over 100. But as I started posting more and more and more, and as I was like just playing and having fun on my IG story, more and more people started watching. So then it went like to 200 and to 300 and then to 700 and to 800. And I remember when I hit 1,000, I'm like, I hit like 1,000. And it was so much faster to grow. It took me a few months to be able to grow that. Versus like Snapchat where you have to like constantly tell people how to find you on Snapchat instead of being able to use geotags and hashtags. And I'm again all about whatever is the easiest way to get my message out to more people, which turned out to be IG story.
Yeah.
So
cool. Yeah, definitely. Do you have a goal of posting a certain amount regular on Instagram or no?
On stories or on my normal timeline?
Like on your normal timeline. Like, I just have a feeling if there's newer coaches who watch this, they're going to be like, well, how do I get my business to attraction marketing? Like, how many times a day should I post? You know what I mean? Like, have a goal to go for.
Again, I feel like that's one of those, like, I know there's like algorithms, but I truly believe like fun is the ultimate algorithm. So if it's like more fun for you to post more on IG stories, I have sometimes where I'm like, I haven't posted in a few days over here, but I'm still like, I mean, I hit Success Club 34 last month in my business and I posted way more in IG stories than I did in my normal timeline. I remember watching yours and I was like, oh, I gotta get my life together. I gotta post at least like a couple times a day, but I was still getting awesome results. So I'm like, fuck the rules. It's still working for me.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, definitely.
But I would say at least like once a day.
Yeah, that's good. Well, with stories now, I think that's good.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that was what was keeping my algorithm going because like Beachbody favors their new like features and obviously stories is getting a lot of new features. But Instagram's getting better every day with like now the little featured stories that you can put on your timeline.
I know.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's like always changing. I feel like I'm always learning something new.
Yeah, it's good.
It's fun. Anything else, ladies, before we let Andrea go? All right. Well, this was amazing. Thank you so much for being with us.
You're welcome. Thank you, guys.
Yes, of course. Awesome. Okay. Well, the recording will be posted tomorrow. We're all going to take action on these 4 Ps and adding more playfulness in. So thank you so much again, and we'll chat later, ladies.
Thanks, guys. Have an awesome night.
Bye.
Bye, guys.